So today I want to talk about one of my favorite games of all time that also came out this year, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, it's been about 7 months since KCD 2 came out, and in my review, I called it one of the most immersive games I've ever played. And I absolutely stand by that. The rich and detailed worlds, the amazing gameplay mechanics, and the incredible player choice in terms of every questline and every story just makes this game so immersive. Now, one thing that I praised particularly in my review was the blacksmithing aspect of the game. I thought it was completely unnecessary in terms of what it did for the story, but it added incredible depth to Henry as a character because his father was a blacksmith, and it also allowed for newer players to forge their own weapons if they didn't have the coin to spare to buy something nice. I also mentioned how I would totally play a 9-to-5 job simulator as Henry as a blacksmith, just making weapons, selling them off for a profit, living a life. Like, I mentioned that I would absolutely do that if I could in this game. And well, my prayers were answered because Warhorse just dropped the brand new DLC for KCD 2, Legacy of the Forge. Now, Legacy of the Forge goes much deeper into what I expected a blacksmithing DLC to be for this game. I mean, to be honest, I was expecting this DLC to be primarily focused on adding a blacksmithing economy into the game. What I mean by this is that I was really just expecting them to add a blacksmithing economy into this game, meaning that, I could just like make new weapons, sell them off for a profit, maybe I have my own forge somewhere in the world, and then maybe a couple of odd side quests or activities to make something like particularly special for someone, just to keep something added into that, DLC. But Warhorse, as I probably should have expected, went way deeper into this system than I thought you could ever go. Warhorse took this blacksmithing dream of mine and essentially made it into a whole ass game with a whole new system attached to it. But before we dive into Legacy of the Forge, if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and please consider subscribing to see more content like this. It really helps the channel out. But anyway, back to the video. So not only did Warhorse do what I asked and gave me my own forge in the heart of Kuttenberg with odd blacksmithing jobs to be taken, but they allowed the forge to be fully customizable with different beds, items, tables, exteriors, and just so much more. And not only are these changes visual, but some of them provide tangible benefits to Henry's character when he goes out and does other things as well. These buffs are definitely going to be useful to a player in the middle of their playthrough, as opposed to me who's using my endgame save to play through this DLC. But it also goes a step further than this. There's a pretty lengthy, solidly focused, brand new storyline to also play through. This storyline is focused on Henry's stepdad, honoring his legacy as a blacksmith, and fighting to complete some of his unfinished work he had when he was alive. And this is a very well thought out plotline, connecting a lot of KCD 1 and Henry's relationship with his stepfather to new characters and this new story of KCD 2. It helps Henry remember the past, and it also fleshes out his parents that were killed pretty early on in the first game, and I think serves as a very solid end story for Henry, serving as a blacksmith in his father's old forge. There is supposed to be one more expansion coming out in 2025, but outside of that, I'm not sure if this is really truly the end for Henry and the Kingdom Come Deliverance franchise. Of course, KCD 3 has not been confirmed yet, so we're not 100% sure if Henry's story is going to continue. But I will say this, if this storyline in Legacy of the Forge and the one after this, whatever it may be, are the last two things that we ever play with as Henry, I'm totally fine with that because they're doing a good job of setting Henry up for a life outside of what we saw in KCD 1 and of course KCD 2. Like I said, if this is really the end for such an amazing character and one of my favorite games of all time, I can confidently say that KCD 2 is one of the best packages you can buy right now in 2025. Well, I thought the first DLC was okay, it did serve primarily as a DLC meant for players in the beginning or middle of their playthrough, and it meant to be played in conjunction with the plethora of other side quests within this game. It was not meant to be played with an endgame save like I did, where the only thing I had to focus on was the DLC because I had completed everything else. This DLC is a pretty massive expansion, adding a pretty lengthy storyline, a whole Forge customization system with various items to buy, and of course the whole blacksmithing minigame. And the best part about it is that this DLC is only $15. This means that if you want to buy the base game and both expansions, that'll run you only $80. That's easily over 100 hours of pretty S-tier quality content for the price of some modern AAA games. Looking at you, Microsoft and Nintendo, which is just insanely good value for the amount of content you are getting. So yeah, without a doubt in my mind, I recommend the shit out of KCD 2 Legacy of the Forge. And I recommend the whole game even more now than I did 7 months ago when I dropped my review. Not only has this game dropped quality update after quality update, but they've dropped 2 expansions now that add brand new storylines and brand new systems and features to the game for a combined fraction of a price compared to some other developers' expansions. I'm looking at you, Starfield and Shattered Space. That thing was $30 and added absolutely nothing in terms of new systems and gave us a pretty shitty new storyline to play through. For $20, which is what Brushes of Death and Legacy of the Forge combined cost, you have a brand new customizable Forge, brand new mini games, brand new systems, a whole new prestige system, 2 brand new storylines to play through that are pretty lengthy, like at least 10 hours of gameplay. Like, that is just an insane amount of value for the amount of money you are spending. And so yeah, without a doubt in my mind, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is not only becoming one of my favorite games of all time, which I already said in my review, but in my opinion, one of the best values of all time in terms of gaming. I mean, you're spending $80 right now and getting a hell of a lot of content, well over 100 hours of storylines, side quests, systems, gameplay. Not to mention the base game is just absolutely phenomenal as well. And so yeah, this is just an amazing package to buy. I cannot recommend it enough. If you like RPGs, even if you don't like hardcore RPGs as much as some other people, if you like RPGs, I highly recommend giving Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 a chance. And if you're gonna buy KCD 2, you might as well buy the 2 DLCs because they're that cheap and that much more worth it and add that much more to the game. But yeah, guys, a pretty short video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down below your thoughts on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Legacy of the Forge specifically. Personally, I'm having a lot of fun playing it, but now it's on to Borderlands 4 for my review for that game. But yeah, guys, let me know down below what you guys are also playing these past couple of weeks. I'm curious to see. Again, if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that like button and please consider subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot, trying to grow this thing to 1,000 subscribers. It couldn't do it without y'all. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been CGG. I'm out.